weather that could suggest the return of La Nina conditions for the winter. What does that mean? We'll let you know.
Live on your side. First Alert Weather Extra starts right now.
And before we get started, check out this video sent in from our friend Ryan Carty from Birmingport. He was able to capture a funnel cloud off of Lake Okeechobee yesterday afternoon in Florida. Captured some views there, some nasty storms down into South Florida. But as for our area right now, Tania, we are still very, very dry, at this time.
Yeah, listen, hopefully we can see some rain in the days ahead because that drought monitor is probably, it got better this week. But I'm expecting next Thursday it's probably going to look a little worse. Yeah,
later next week we will be asking for a little bit of rainfall. Had a camera view pulled up there, but seems like we lost it. But there's a concert happening in Tuscaloosa at the Mercedes-Benz Amphitheater. There's a view.
Oh, that's Coleman.
That's Coleman. But hey, 81 degrees right now, so feeling pretty good out there. A little bit of an improvement. It was certainly hotter earlier this evening. Let's go to the next big thing, and we have some lovely views all around the state right now. A nice Friday night as we kick off this weekend, but the temperatures out there, that summer heat really hanging on. And notice in this view here from Centerville, you can see in the trees there a little bit of color. I know some of that's related to the drought, but you can tell that October's right around the corner. Talladega County, live look from Oak Grove, and as we go over to the temperatures across the state, still showing some 90s there over parts of West Alabama. Looks like Talladega also around 90 degrees, but again, we'll have some quick improvements for tonight. Temperature-wise, a great night for high school football all across the area. But in the tropics, we are watching. There is an area over the Gulf of Mexico. We have a 50% chance for development with this over the next 7 days. That number just keeps going up. This is the outlook from the Hurricane Center, but I can tell you, we have a high confidence that there's a disturbance in here that's going to move towards the Gulf. Could become better organized. If it does grow into a tropical storm, the next name on the list is Helene, if that does develop. So that's what we're going to be watching here. One of the next big things, I mentioned fall arrives Sunday morning at 7:43, and I know the summer heat, it's going to hang on for this weekend and actually through a good part of next week. But here's the thing, when you see fall arrives, astronomical fall, I can promise you it won't be long. We'll be talking about some dropping temperatures, but we'll have dry through Monday and then talking about that tropical threat in the Gulf for next week. This is just a model comparison. Now, this is more deterministic data that we talk about. This is the European model, the GFS, and even the what we call the Canadian model, some of that long-range guidance. You can see it paints a system here over the Gulf of Mexico. The GFS has been more robust into bringing a system into our area later next week, and this is what it looks like, some of the latest data. And I believe the 1 o'clock update, it's rolling in and also showing this same scenario. There you can see the center of a developing possibly tropical storm or stronger as it moves north. That's Friday and next week. So this time next week, according to the GFS model, you can see it brings that system to the north and right there closer to the Gulf Coast. So if that scenario plays out, of course, this time next week, we will have some significant impacts. So just making sure you have the first alert. We're not saying first alert weather day just yet. We do have some models that say it may go further west. It may not be as strong, and then some data that keeps it off to the east of us. So until a system actually forms, that's when we can say for certain where this is going. But at this time, no issues. So if you're leaving out tonight, you're going to the Gulf Coast, you can see just a beautiful Friday night out there. It's going to be a lovely weekend down along the Gulf Coast tomorrow, also through Sunday. And here's a look at the beach forecast, and you can see Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 10 to 30% chance for scattered showers. If this was a factor, again, it would be around Friday, Saturday of next week. So let's pay close attention to what happens here over the next few days. Certainly something to watch as we closely monitor that long-range forecast. But all this comes as a new study from Bankrate shows that it's getting trickier to put together the right types of policies to fully insure your home from natural disasters. And this Watching Your Wallet segment, consumer investigator Rachel DePalma talks about how an expert shows you ways that you can prepare.
The National Centers for Environmental Information recorded 28 separate billion-dollar disasters in 2023. Some insurance carriers are now leaving certain states altogether because of a rise in natural disaster claims, which Shannon Martin with Bankrate says means more homeowners across the U.S. are left footing the bill for damage caused by these disasters. And we're talking about tornadoes, wildfires, flooding, tropical cyclones, earthquakes, and severe storms impacting the cost of homeowners insurance. Martin says if you can afford to update your home for the most common disaster in your area, do it.
If you can invest in hurricane shutters, if you can invest in reinforcing your roof clips, you definitely want to take the time to do it. Reach out to local programs to see what grants they have available to you. If you can't do those things, even just little things, get your roof inspected, make sure all the cracks in your foundation are filled. Every little mitigation effort you take means you might receive less damage from the next storm.
And if you are looking to buy a home, research that area. Martin says you can even get quotes for homeowners insurance on different homes that you are looking at before you buy.
I always recommend for people to take out their policies, look at their coverages. And if you don't understand something, I know we live in a fast-paced world, we like to do things online through chat. Things are getting so extreme now. That's really the time to reach out directly to your personal agent, to your personal broker. Have them walk through the policy with you.
Martin says, see what coverages you are missing. Do you have too much coverage in one area? And can you shift your money to better protect you in another area? She also says you can shop around for home insurance to try to get a better price. With this Watch in Your Wallet, I'm Rachel DePompa.
Well, taking you now around the world where we're actually tracking what's happening in Europe. Storm Boris is now bringing torrential rain to Italy after causing widespread flooding in other parts of the continent. And more than 1,000 people were evacuated overnight after 4 water basins flooded. Train travel across the country has been disrupted, with 14 major cross-country trains being canceled just yesterday. A red alert for continued rain was extended into today, and this comes after the same region flooded twice last year with up to 17 inches of rain that fell. And in Hungary, seeing these same conditions as water levels of Danube River are expected to double in the coming days. The mayor of Budapest warning that the city risks facing the biggest flood of the decade. Flood protection measures are being implemented as government agencies work to minimize those risks.
In 30 seconds, we take a quick look at your weekend forecast and bring you an update from the Climate Prediction Center on what they're expecting for this upcoming winter season. We'll be right back. And don't forget, tonight we have Sideline after college football here on WBRC. Weekend forecast, looking ahead tomorrow, lots of sunshine. And speaking of college football, some of the games happening, don't forget the sunscreen and a few extra bottles of water. It's going to be hot, 92. It's going to feel a little hotter during the afternoon. Notice the overnight lows not as crisp. We'll see some milder conditions during the morning hours. And Sunday afternoon high around 92 degrees. But we stay dry for Saturday and Sunday. Monday looks dry at the earliest. I'm seeing our next chance for isolated showers and storms by Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. Tania?
Well, Wes, I know many people are looking forward to the weekend, not just because of football, but also because that's when the fall season starts. Sunday, September 22nd, we are going to be bringing in the first day of fall. We are only 2 days away, 41 days away until Halloween, and 69 days away until Thanksgiving. That's going to be November 28th. The other good news is, guess what? We're less than 100 days away until Christmas. But this all comes as the Climate Prediction Center just released their newest winter outlook today. The outlook showing that Alabama and most of the South and East Coast are seeing above average temperatures. We may also see below average rainfall for the winter, with the other half of the country seeing above average rainfall. This forecast adjusting the typical La Nina pattern, which NOAA says is expected to dominate weather conditions from December to February. La Nina typically bringing drier conditions to southern areas of the country and wetter conditions to the north. And as we head into a new season, it's estimated that millions of people deal with seasonal affective disorder, which involves reoccurring episodes of depression that typically strikes from late fall into the winter months. Meteorologist Shinty Rodriguez spoke with Marty Harden of Empower Counseling and Coaching about how this disorder can impact your life daily. And we hear from them now on what you can do to cope with these symptoms.
What are some of the tools people can use to cope with these feelings?
Absolutely. There's a couple I like to talk about. If you want to go kind of the more medical side, which is definitely not me, but you can talk to a medical professional maybe about some antidepressants or maybe some vitamin D supplements, just to kind of, if we're not getting that sunlight, we do need some more vitamin D. But more on my side of things, that psychotherapy side, I like to talk about behavioral activation. That's just a fancy word for making sure you're doing things that bring you joy and that fulfill you. So kind of setting a routine and making sure you have some of those daily activities. I like to say try and have a mix of indoor and outdoor. Again, I know in the winter it's harder, it's cold, and who wants to be outside in the cold? But if you find some of those like sunny daylight hours to take a walk, take your pets for a walk, maybe go on a run if you enjoy that. And also indoor activities as well, whether that's reading, arts and crafts, playing musical instruments. That's something I'm seeing a lot more too. Making sure you're doing those things that you really enjoy. And then also kind of on the more emotional side of things, making sure that we're being really mindful and present in our current emotions and our current thoughts. A lot of times we want to avoid the hard feelings because who wants to be sad and who wants to be anxious? But it's really important that we recognize what we're doing, intentionally slowing down, maybe focusing on our breaths, focusing on where we are, what's around us, kind of keeping us in the present moment.
That's amazing. I'm gonna take note of all of that and I'm gonna apply it to myself. And last but not least, when should a person look for professional help?
It's never too early or too late to seek professional help. If you know that this is a pattern that you kind of have and this is not the first time you've experienced this, maybe starting a little bit early and being proactive could help you maybe lessen some of that intensity or maybe just kind of prepare you for what's to come. But also if this is the first time for you and you are kind of in the middle of it and you kind of realize like, oh, I'm feeling really low right now, seeking that help and getting that support that you need can also be super beneficial for you.
Well, still ahead on First Alert Weather Extra, we're going to talk about the rain in the forecast for the upcoming week, but get an early taste of fall as we head to the kitchen for this week's Cooking Up a Storm. We'll be right back.
Well, if you're heading out to the fair, of course, some nice weather for this weekend, and also nice weekend for some football. You can see some of the tents there going up. Big game weekend. Jacksonville State University. That's a live look right there from the Houston Cole Library. Football forecast, 88 degrees at kickoff time for JSU Arkansas at Auburn, 86 degrees at kickoff time. It is going to be hot out there, probably one of the hotter game days that we'll see all football season. But the next 24 hours, very dry. The wind settles tonight. The sky clears. Very nice overnight out there. We'll see 6 a.m. temperatures close to 70 degrees tomorrow morning. As we take it on into lunchtime, you can see 92 in Tuscaloosa, 90 around Pell City tomorrow afternoon. Around lunchtime, 90 degrees in Talladega, and it gets even hotter from there. And see, we jump up to around 93 at Gadsden Center there later in the day. So those 90s come back in a hurry tomorrow. No rain, though. Maybe an isolated shower further south or north of us, but not seeing any wet weather for tomorrow. Still very dry. Sunday, another dry day. Of course, we've been talking a lot about how the models are picking up on a system developing over the southern Gulf of Mexico. This all will happen in a hurry next week by next Wednesday and Thursday, and then lift north. If this model verifies, which is the American model, it shows some possibilities around Friday, Saturday, some impacts across our area. So certainly could get interesting later on next week. We could see those rain chances go up. So check in with us for updates throughout the weekend. We have the Alabama Orchid Show and Sale happening this weekend at the Botanical Gardens. And if you're heading out, again, some nice weather, nice morning out there tomorrow. Maybe you plan on doing a little yard work, enjoy those low 70s and upper 60s there early in the day. Birmingham Legion, they're going to be out at the Protective Stadium. And looks like that's going to be at 4 o'clock Sunday. So again, very hot during the afternoon. So don't forget the sunscreen. Still another mostly sunny day setting up. Even though fall arrives at 7:43 Sunday morning, it's the autumnal equinox. We have that roughly equal day and night time, but we're losing about 2 minutes of daylight a day. So over the next couple of weeks here, we will certainly notice those days as they continue to shorten. And we're roughly, I believe, 43 days away from daylight saving time, so that time change will be happening before you know it. Thursday and Friday, we are watching the Gulf of Mexico. First alert for what happens if that system forms. The next name on the list is Helene, so we will watch closely this weekend. Again, we have Matt's going to be here in the morning, and Tania and I actually will be passing along some updates tomorrow afternoon as well. So check in throughout the weekend with the First Alert Weather app. We will keep you well informed. How about some weather art? We have a photo to share with you submitted by Sage. And Sage, if you are watching, we want to thank you for sending us this lovely picture and putting a smile on our face on this Friday. This is part of a thing we're doing right now called Color the Weather. So if you go to visit WBRC.com and /color the weather, you can see the link there on the screen. You can share those color the weather photos. We actually have some templates there for you. We have some nice fall templates you can download and have some fun coloring those and sending those to us. You can submit those actually online through this page or through the First Alert Weather app, where you can have the chance to be featured right here on First Alert Weather Extra. Tania, what about that photo? Nice colors in there. Look really.
I know. Sage did a great job.
Yeah, great job. Better than me. You know, I always have trouble staying in the lines there, you know.
We're going to have to send you back to kindergarten with. Oh, no, I'm just messing. But yeah, Sage, great job. If you want to send in your pictures, please do. We love to see them.
That graphic looks good there behind you, so you're doing a good job.
Oh, thank you. Good thing I didn't have to color either, because this might not have been so pretty. But as we look beyond the 7-day, we're going to see those afternoon highs next week, finally cooling back off into the 80s, but we also have a little bit more wet weather around. We are indeed watching next weekend and really the end of next week into next weekend. The tropics is going to be a big story. You definitely want to make sure you're staying up to date with the forecast throughout the next several days. But then after we see and really get rid of that tropical system, we could hopefully see some more sunshine, but notice those afternoon highs will be more fall-like. We could see those temperatures back into the 70s. I'm talking mid to upper 70s. It should feel so pleasant. So maybe this tropical system is what we need. It's going to bring us the rain. It's going to leave us behind with some 70s for our afternoon highs. And then we still get to enjoy the sunshine. So I'm not mad at it. Of course, fall starts on Sunday, this Sunday, September the 22nd. But it's time to head now to the kitchen with meteorologist Lauren Linehan as she cooks up a storm by making some delicious fall cookies.
Well, the fall season is almost here, so we had to use this as an excuse to get our very dear friend Jillian Brooks back in the studio with us for another segment of Cooking Up a Storm, bringing baking news to primetime. Jillian, thanks for being here with us today.
I love that, baking news to prime time.
I know.
There's always a good time to bake.
There's always a good time to bake, especially when you have those cozy fall vibes in the air. I know it's still kind of warm right now, but
the mornings, they're feeling crisp.
Exactly.
They're feeling crisp. I can feel a leaf falling to. I can hear it. It's falling to the ground. So
As we speak.
as we speak. So to celebrate, we're making Taylor Swift's. I'm a Swiftie. Taylor Swift's chai sugar cookies.
These sound amazing.
Yes, so it's a super easy recipe. I found Taylor Swift herself hand wrote it and put it on the internet years ago. So I just followed along with that recipe, but they're very simple. If you like chai, you'll like them, but even if you don't like chai, I still think you'll like them. So,
well, let's try it.
Yes.
Let's chai it.
So let's chai it.
Yeah, that was not great.
No, that was
Next.
good. I kind of like that. So the base of it is just a sugar cookie. So the recipe that I'm following uses powdered sugar and regular sugar. So the first thing you want to do is have a stick of softened butter and some oil, and you're going to mix that all together. So then when that's all beat together, you're going to add a little bit of vanilla.
Okay.
I think it's like a teaspoon, but I like to eyeball my vanilla because I love vanilla.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
That's great advice,
Yeah.
Jillian.
Yeah, I like vanilla. And then you're just going to, there we go.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want that to fall on the ground. That would be really bad. And then you're going to add 1 egg. And so it's going to be a really sticky dough when it's done. And it's mostly because of this oil and the egg and all that. It definitely creates a very sticky situation. So then as you're beating that together, you're going to add a 1/2 cup of regular granulated sugar and then a 1/2 cup of powdered sugar.
Okay.
Ooh. Yeah, and then you get that really pretty yellow color.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Certainly looking like a sugar cookie. So when that's all done, you want to fold in this is flour, baking soda, and salt. And so baking soda is the science, so that makes it all puff up.
And
look
that's why
delicious.
we're doing this segment, because it is scientific.
It is science. Baking is a science. My mother preached that to me from when I was very young.
Love
before
that.
I even knew how
Always
to hold
knew it
a
like your
spoon.
mom.
Yeah. She's the best. So you're going to fold this in, you're going to put the mixer away, and you're going to do this with the spoon. This might take a few minutes, just until you get it all well incorporated. And so when you get, where it's starting to look like a dough, you're going to take a chai tea bag.
Okay.
So you can make your own chai. There's plenty of recipes on the internet of all the spices that go into chai, or you can just take a tea bag and just dump it in just like that.
Nice.
So this is one by Tazio. I think it's Tazio. I could be wrong.
I don't know.
Sorry, but
I clean it all the time. But
free
probably...
advertising. So I just got that at Target. Just really simple, and then there's your dough. It's starting to come together.
Yum.
So when you get your dough all together, you're going to want to put it in the fridge for a couple of hours because you can see it's really sticky.
Okay.
So you want to put it in the fridge. It's going to harden up a little bit. I have some here that has already
perfect.
been refrigerated and set aside. And you're just going to take some scoops and just...
It's easy.
And that's easy. And so if you want to take your cookies a step forward, you can make a glaze. So I'm going to switch sides with you here. So all you have to do for this is open up your powdered sugar, which I did not. So you just need a little bit of powdered sugar. I like to eyeball this. I think it's easier. Little bit of powdered sugar, teensy bit of milk, and then I'm going to add some nutmeg to give it
there we
more
go.
of a fall feel. Yeah.
There it is.
And I'm going to grab a spoon because I don't have anything to mix this with. And then that's going to create your glaze. And so if it's too thin, you add more powdered sugar. If it's too thick, you add more milk. So you just go back and forth.
Got it.
So, and you can use any kind of milk. I just use whatever's in my fridge. I happen to have some just skim milk in the fridge from whatever I was cooking this week, but I usually have oat milk or almond milk in the fridge.
Yeah,
that's great too.
That's my girl.
So, so when it gets to that consistency, you just want to pick up. There's some lumps in there, but good enough. You just want to pick up a cookie, a little bit of spoonful, and just drizzle it right on top.
Oh, that looks amazing.
And that is your fall chai sugar cookie.
Well, this is the fun part. This is why we have Jillian in here.
This is the good stuff. I think this is why I have a job here.
And it is dripping. It is dripping. Okay. Cheers.
Okay, so we have some viewer photos to show you. This one from Ronald Tinsley, a sunset at Tillerson Bend.
And Andrea Clay sharing a sunset at Santa Rosa Beach. Oh, had a chance to visit there earlier this summer. So gorgeous there, and hopefully, you know, the weather cooperates along
Where's
the
Santa
coast.
Rosa Beach at?
That's right there between Panama City and Destin in that area. Ryan Carty, also a nice little sunset in Lake Elmo, Minnesota. You know, we just had some video from Ryan from South Florida. This
Sure
guy,
did.
you know,
He's on it.
He's on it, yeah.
And Jimmy sent this one in from Fort Morgan Pier. So cute. Look at the bird.
Yeah, it looks like a
Stork.
yeah, hair in there, or
The ones that carry the babies in the movie.
Yeah.
Yep, that's what it is.
What a view with that pink background. What a canvas there, and just
it's
some
so
lovely
pretty.
views right at sunset time. You just never know what you're going to get.
That's
I mean,
so
it's
true. Just
absolutely
have your
gorgeous.
phone out and have it ready.
So earlier this week, you may have noticed I was not here. I was actually in Irving, Texas, the National Weather Association conference. Meteorologists all around. So obviously, you know, the talk of the town was the tropical disturbance for next week. But over there, the forecast high today, it was cranking up to around 101. So I was glad to get back to this. Highs in the low 90s over the next couple days, but still some summer heat this weekend.
Yes.
Of course, we'll be watching next week.
And we'll have updates for you tonight for snow at 10.
Yeah, we'll be digital, so follow us on YouTube. We've got college football tonight that's coming up right here on Fox.
Have a good evening.